What's up, world? Let me tell you about this beard growth oil I got from 12 tribes on Earth. 8 ounces of oily goodness with a nozzle that prevents sprays and spills, and soft ingredients that make it perfect addition to anyone's morning routine. From coconut to castor, all these oils are hand chosen. After using this herbal blend, the biggest thing I noticed is how soft, how strong my hair was, and how good I feel. Pick up your bottle today and make your beard the star of the show.
Shalom, family. Good to see everyone here. Hope you're doing well. Well, we're going to talk about something I've recently found out about Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Do y'all know they've been going through blackouts for like the last 2 months? And they've been without water sometimes like 2 weeks at a time where nothing comes out of their faucets. They can't you know, flush their toilets unless they got water to pour in the toilet. So it's been crazy. They're not really that much better off than Cuba. But yeah, they are really going through it. So, I guess because I don't really communicate heavily with people on the islands, and that's why, I'm just finding this out. But I did know that with Puerto Rico, they have been in a weakened state since all of those hurricanes hit. Hurricane Maria really did a number on them. And in all honesty, y'all, they have not been able to bounce back. They've been having, when Maria went through there, it literally put that island in the dark and it tore the island up. And it's never been the same. Not that they were doing great even before then. That's why so many of them came to mainland America, because they could no longer live on that island. And I remember years later, after those hurricanes hit, they were still living with those tarps on their roof, where you could clearly see they didn't fully repair anything. So we know what happened to Jamaica a year ago when they got hit with a hurricane and the island was underwater. Well, Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, they've been struggling for, especially these last several years, they have been struggling bad. And, and I'm finding out from just listening to some of the videos, listening to the residents, they said that Hurricane Maria, when it came through, it literally took out their power company, you know, and every time the power would come back on, it's only on for a short period of time and it goes out for long periods of time. And the water situation has gotten worse for them. I mean, that place gets hot. It gets hot in them islands in the summer. How are y'all making it with no water? That is crazy to me. But that's what's happening. You would think this would have been in the news, but it has not really been in the news. Cuba has been in the news. We've heard about the starvation going on there, and they have not had power in months. They have not had a lot of them had to throw their food out because it's spoiled and trash is piled up. So they're really not that better off. But you know what amazes me, y'all? How all of these people, I don't care what island they come from, they come here and act like they're better than us. And yes, the Puerto Ricans too. And y'all just come over here and act like your shit don't stink and y'all are better. And everything is just so much better for you. And I know that's a load of BS. When I look at those islands, yeah, there are some, especially the tourist spots are nice. Y'all keep those areas where tourists will come through, you keep that nice. But in some rural parts of the island, it's not so nice. Y'all still got dirt roads and it looks very underdeveloped. So, but it's bad enough. But when you come here trying to stick your nose up at us, I just find that hilarious. Seriously, I find that hilarious. And I was looking at, and I might have to do some more life after deportation. I came across one, this one African guy got deported back, and he was at a house that once his grandmother owned, and y'all, the toilet was piled up with poop. It was like, oh man, I don't know if I would have showed that on camera, but all around when he was standing outside was just a bunch of dirt and dirt roads and everything. And I was like, wow, and just think y'all come here and say you're better than us, you're smarter than us, y'all make more money than us, which y'all don't, by the way. Y'all don't. It's what, about 50 million of us, and there's not no 50 million Africans in this country. So because we outnumber you, there's no way you make more money. There's no way. We outnumber you by millions. So anyway, y'all, let's take a look at this situation going on in the islands, in the US Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Now, if y'all remember Hurricane Maria, they were supposed to get money, billions, from the United States to help fix up the island. And do you know Donald Trump sat on that money and they never got it? And that's another reason why the islands are struggling, because they never got that money. And they're trying to do their best. And obviously, their best is not working if your country is completely blacked out. That says a lot. Thank you, y'all, for the ones. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I hope y'all can hear me, but in case you're wondering what that noise is in the background, that is a generator. I want to make a video because at this point, we need more. We need help. This needs to be nationally understood. This needs to just go viral. So please, please, please do your best to share this video. If you know of any outlets that could get attention on this, I want to make this video because the U.S. Virgin Islands is suffering when it comes down to our Water and Power Authority, okay, aka WAPA. Not only has our power been out collectively like 24 hours, like for example, yesterday my power went out at my home 4 times, you all. And when I say it went out, I don't mean just a quick off and on. I mean for hours, to the point that people's appliances are frying. Businesses are suffering, okay? We have seniors that live here that need medication, that are on oxygen. We have kids here, like, you all. We need help. We need help. And unfortunately, the government has not done much to assist us. I don't know where the money has gone that went to the utility system for help, but we need help. If you know anybody that could help us put national coverage on this, I mean, it's to the point where it almost feels like this needs to be a state of emergency, you all. When you all are traveling to the U.S. Virgin Islands, if your property or wherever you're staying doesn't have a generator, you are left in darkness for hours. And unfortunately, the notifications that we get rotating schedules, and they don't stick to those schedules. You all, it's hot. Like, we are suffering. We are suffering. So if anybody out there knows of any news outlets, reporters, anything that could put attention on this, we need help. Something needs to be done, you all. This has become a problem. It's been a problem. Our generation systems keep breaking down. You all, the island, the people, we need help. If you know of anybody that can help us, and please just send them my way. Send them to me, and we need to just get something done at this point. To go this long without water, without power, food is going bad. Like, this is serious. I understand this is paradise for some of y'all. Y'all are vacationing here. Y'all come here and have a good time. But if you have ever experienced a blackout in the U.S. Virgin Islands, you understand how terrible it can truly be. Please, 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 if you know of anybody, any news outlets or anything, send them my way.
There are more than 3 million people, U.S. citizens, living in Puerto Rico right now. A lot of them cannot count on water coming out of their faucet, coming out of the tap. This month, the island's main water line ruptured, and more than 100,000 people lost water service. Crews were able to recently patch the main line, but in neighborhoods across San Juan, water isn't fully back yet. On Calle Loíza in Santurce, which is now a very touristy area, there's a coffee shop called Café Regina. They have on their windows painted in red numbers that they change every day, marking the days that they have gone without water. They just announced that at day 47, they finally got water back so they can service people, but not at full capacity. We're talking about the summer when it's the hottest, and it's most critical for the elderly, for the bedridden, waiting on whomever can carry a jug up the stairs. And still, by the way, these people are being charged. They have to pay for a water bill for a service that never came. Officials are pointing to decades of deferred maintenance, failing pumps, aging pipes, reservoirs that are filling with sediment, droughts that are getting worse. In May, the mayor of San Juan sued the island's water authority over the outages. And this week, some Democratic members of Congress, including Nidia Velázquez, Adriano Espaillat, said that both the federal and local governments need to be held accountable. And they pledged to push for an investigation into what led to this severe water crisis. And here's what matters now. Patching one pipe isn't going to fix the whole system. Officials estimate that Puerto Rico right now loses roughly 60% of the water that it treats before it gets to any tap, because most of it is leaking out of old broken pipes. The reservoirs that feed the system are filling with sediment, and without dredging them, the situation is going to get worse. Officials are warning that the outages will keep coming, even in years where there is no drought. The fix that needs to happen includes rebuilding the pipe network, clearing the reservoirs, and that takes years and billions of dollars. This week, in a Senate hearing, the head of the water authority said they couldn't tell or know how long it would actually take to fix the whole system. So yes, the water came back to Café Regina and to other residents in the San Juan area, but until the pipes and the reserves get fixed, nothing really guarantees that Puerto Ricans aren't going to again start counting the numbers that they have gone without accessing water.
Can someone explain to me in Puerto Rico why there are so many power outages? Like when I moved here, my power was out for 2 days. Power came back on. A couple of days later, the power went out. Is this something I'm doing, or is that like normal on the island? Help me.
Lights go out in Puerto Rico. Again, island-wide blackout, hospitals on generators, no water, no refrigeration, no air conditioning in 90-degree heat. This isn't new. This is normal. Why does this keep happening? Let's go back. For decades, Puerto Rico's power grid was run by PREPA, the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, a government utility buried in debt, $11 billion in debt. How? Decades of mismanagement, corruption, deferred maintenance, and bonds sold to Wall Street investors who demanded payment no matter what. Then Hurricane Maria hit in 2017. The entire grid collapsed. The U.S. government promised to rebuild it, billions in federal funds. But here's what happened instead. A private company called Luma Energy took over in 2021. They promised reliability, modernization, better service. Rates went up, service got worse, blackouts increased. In 2022 alone, Puerto Rico had more power outages than the previous 5 years combined. Luma blamed aging infrastructure. They blamed the debt. They blamed everything except their own management. Meanwhile, their executives are making six-figure salaries while Puerto Ricans sit in the dark. This isn't incompetence. This is privatization. Profit over people. Every single time. Comment your country or state if you think utilities.
They've been suppressing my celebratory Puerto Rican comments, so let's talk about what else they're hiding about Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's been dealing with an aging infrastructure well before 2017 when Hurricane Maria came and destroyed the island. We're talking about homes, hospitals, roadways, electric grids, water systems. Some places still haven't even recovered. And the electric grid is partially privatized by Luma Energy, with residents now experiencing frequent power outages while their bills get higher. On top of that, communities are experiencing water shortages, with residents having to buy water and store water in buckets so that they can survive day-to-day life, like flushing their toilet, bathing, doing their laundry. It is so bad, their MAGA-loving governor has had to call in the National Guard. Meanwhile, the cost of living keeps getting higher while pay wages stay lower than some parts of mainland U.S. Reminder, their president also loves inflation, and now you have these wealthy investors coming in to buy up plots of land and literally push people out of the neighborhoods they were born and raised in. If you were able to celebrate our culture with us, please help us protect it and spread awareness of what is happening in Puerto Rico right now. I'm hopeful that with a more politically aware generation, we will one day see a free Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is facing an island-wide blackout, says a spokesperson for the island's power supplier. Residents were forced to walk along stalled trains and others took to filling up emergency gas tanks. While it's not currently clear what caused the blackout, Governor Jennifer Gonzalez said officials were, quote, working diligently to fix it. Critics have long said the island's power grid lacks proper investment. Puerto Rico recently experienced an island-wide energy outage like this on New Year's Eve.
Okay, so you can see this has been going on for a long time between, because the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, they're side by side. So the thing is, I do feel for these people because I know how hot it gets on those islands, and for you not to have any power, no electricity, you can't even keep your food fresh because of the power outage, because I've seen the videos of Cuba and the Cubans having to throw food out because it went bad, because there's no power. And now you see Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands are struggling, just as bad. And I don't see how they're going to be able to fix their power grid if they don't have any funding. That's why they said they can't really do anything without the proper investment. But Donald Trump never gave them that money, y'all. They were supposed to get, I think, several $billions to, fix up the island. And he never gave it to them. He never gave them the money. And Joe Biden came behind him and he really didn't do too much of nothing either. And now you got Donald Trump in again, and he didn't do nothing the first time. You think he's going to do something the second time around? He won't. He won't. So they're not getting any help from the United States at all. It doesn't matter what political party is in there. They're not getting any help. And their corruption, it's the Gentile world, y'all. Yeah, there's a lot of corruption, even in the politics over there in the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. There's a lot of corruptions. A lot of their politicians do the same thing that the Africans do. They steal the money. So even if you gave them billions, they're going to pocket a lot of that. The politicians are going to pocket a lot of that money. They are. Dion Carpenter, you're right. It probably did go in Donald Trump's pocket. It sure didn't go to the islands like it was supposed to. Only thing he did was show up and toss rolls of paper towel to a crowd of people that were already suffering on that island. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, you can't flush toilets. I just can't imagine that. So I guess you can go out and fetch water every day, but to me, that is just not a livable situation. But see, after Hurricane Maria, a lot of people that were on that island left and came over here to mainland America. Many of them left. I think I can't say the majority, but many of them did leave and come over here. And not to mention, what was the population? Like 3 million on that island? 3 million? I don't think it's anywhere near that anymore. Mhm. Yeah, and the sad part is they got the nerve to come over here and be racist of all things. I mean, that is just mind-boggling that you come from a place like that and you are racist. That boy, talk about insult to injury. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. And by the way, I looked up the peace deal. They're still working on it. So they got JD Vance over there helping to work on this peace deal. I think they're in Geneva. And, you know, the Strait of Hormuz, why don't you just keep it closed forever? Because every time it opens up and y'all negotiate, it's always closed within a day or so. So, but yeah, that ain't going nowhere. I don't think it is. And even if it does, Israel, and JD Vance had some choice words for Israel, because I think they're getting tired of every time they come close to some kind of deal, Israel does something and it causes major setbacks. JD Vance kind of spoke in an indirect way of, they're pretty much tired of them sabotaging them every time they come close to a deal. So, all right. Hold on. I got some. Black Are You 365. Thank you for your support from my channel support. Thank you. I deeply appreciate your support. And Mankind 777. Thank you for your support for my channel. Yahweh is judging the locals. They do not have time for the Most High, but plenty of energy for pagan festivities like Bacchus and Carnival, even though they are suffering. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, that is even the case in South America. You know, a lot of those countries are so poor. Y'all, I mean, I know many of those countries are poor, but damn, did y'all look at some of these places where these people come from? I mean, I was looking at Colombia and even parts of Brazil. I mean, some of these places, Guatemala. Oh man, these places look horrible. And I'm just sitting there and I was like, and all of y'all come here and act like we're in a worse state than you are. And that has never been the case. That has never been the case at all. But man, when I start looking at some of these places, it is crazy the conditions that many of these illegals lived in, and then got the nerve to come here and stick their nose up at us. And I was like, but you come from crap. You come from crap. What are you doing? Ooh, man. Wow. Yeah, you're right. Their conditions account for the way they treat us, you know, and that is a curse. And it just goes to show you these countries where they really hate us, the Most High did not even allow them to fully develop their land. Yes, that's a judgment. Absolutely, it is. That's a judgment. I mean, all this time, all these centuries, and you still have not fully developed your land. Yeah, that's a judgment. Hmm. Oh no, there are some nice places, especially like I said, they make so much money on tourism, and the tourist areas they keep nice. They do. They keep that whole area nice. They keep the beaches nice and everything. But when you go more in the country and rural side of the island, yeah, that's when it don't look so good. But it ain't all bad. Absolutely not. I mean, you still, despite the fact of, the way it looks, there's still rich people that live on those islands. There are rich people, wealthy people that live there. So, absolutely, it's not all bad. Hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why Castro, when he was living, he ran all them white Cubans out because that's all they were a bunch of transplants. And he ran them the hell up on out of there because they were treating the melanated population like dirt. Hmm. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I do have a few more ideas that I'm looking at for live. So just be on the lookout for my upcoming lives. And thank you for all of your support. And don't forget to pick up your hair products. I've been trying to keep the prices down, although it's been difficult because my supplies went up again. I was like, well, damn, you know, my purple bottles of all things that I really like, they just went up in price again. I can't win, I guess. So, y'all have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you a little later. Shalom, family.